2022 is the bicentennial year of Ulysses S. Grant's birth. This is a series of vignettes that lift up the people, events, or moments of note in Grant's life as seen through his eyes. These are rich glimpses that give insight into Ulysses S. Grant's life and who or what impacted him to mold the leader he became. The series is available on the Facebook page Ulysses S. Grant Bicentennial Moments and the YouTube channel General Grant by himself. April 9th, 1865. I'm Lieutenant General Ulysses S. Grant, and it is April the 9th of 1865. There are some notes exchanged between General Lee and myself on this date. General R.E. Lee, commanding C.S. Armies, April 9, 1865. General, your note of yesterday is received. As I have no authority to treat on the subject of peace, the meeting proposed for 10 a.m. today could lead to no good. I will state, however, General, that I am equally anxious for peace with yourself, and the whole North entertain the same feeling. The terms upon which peace can be had are well understood. By the South laying down their arms, they will hasten that most desirable event, save thousands of human lives and hundreds of millions of property not yet destroyed. Sincerely hoping that all our difficulties may be settled without the loss of another life, I subscribe myself, very respectfully, your obedient servant, U.S. Grant, Lieutenant General, U.S. Army. And around 8:30 or 9 in the morning of the 9th, this note was sent through General Meade's lines from General Lee. Lieutenant General U.S. Grant, commanding U.S. Armies. General, I received your note of this morning on the picket line whither I had come to meet you, and ascertained definitely what terms were embraced in your proposal of yesterday with reference to the surrender of this army. I now request an interview in accordance with the offer contained in your letter of yesterday for that purpose. Very respectfully, your obedient servant, R.E. Lee, General. He had appeared under a flag of truce between the lines, and it was the first time that General Lee had ever appeared under a flag of truce. The messengers were busily searching for me. I had changed routes from one road to another, and General Lee sent another note to me on the morning of the 9th, shortly after the first. Lieutenant General U.S. Grant, commanding U.S. Armies. General, I ask a suspension of hostilities pending the adjustment of the terms of surrender of this army in the interview requested in my former communication today. Very respectfully, your obedient servant, R.E. Lee. General Lee had been informed by General Meade that they had orders to attack at 12, and he did not have the authority to countermand that order. It had to come from me. General Lee had then requested a cessation of hostilities. Still, a little later in the morning, as they're looking for me still to tell me of General Lee's request, this note was sent through General Sheridan's lines, and it is as follows. Headquarters, Army of Northern Virginia, April 9, 1865. Lieutenant General U.S. Grant, commanding U.S. Armies. General, I sent a communication to you today from the picket lines whither I had gone in hope of meeting you in pursuance of the request contained in my letter of yesterday. Major General Meade informs me that it would probably expedite matters to send a duplicate through some other part of your lines. I therefore request an interview at such time and place as you may designate to discuss the terms of the surrender of this army. in accordance with your offer to have such an interview contained in your letter of yesterday. Very respectfully, your obedient servant, R.E. Lee. The armies finally found me, messengers, and this was the note I sat down and wrote General Lee. Headquarters, Armies of the U.S., April 9th, 1865. General R.E. Lee, commanding C.S. Army. Your note of this date is but of this moment, 11:50 a.m., received. In consequence of my having passed from the Richmond and Lynchburg Road to the Farmville and Lynchburg Road, I am at this writing about 4 miles west of Walker's Church, and will push forward to the front for the purpose of meeting you. Notice sent on this road where you wish the interview to take place will meet me. Very respectfully, your obedient servant, U.S. Grant, Lieutenant General. I had had a blinding, murderous, sick headache that immediately went away when I read that note from General Lee. I mounted my horse, and with my staff, we began pounding through that Virginia mud to get to Appomattox Courthouse. It is April the 9th of 1865. I am Lieutenant General U.S. Grant, and this has been a Ulysses S. Grant Bicentennial Moment.